Okay, so welcome everybody. So I want to dedicate this shiur to the refuah shlema of Uriel ben Mechuna Tzipora, and Ben HaMechuna Tzipora, and also for the shmir of the chayalim and the safe return of the hostages. Okay, so we're up to sichah 163. So this is going to be kind of like a continuation of Hisbodedus. That's like what we're up to. So here we go, rock and roll. Okay. So one of the Rebbe's followers from Zlatopolia related the following. One summer day in Zlatopolia, the Rebbe prayed very early. He sent his daughter Sarah to call me. When I came to him, he suggested that we take a stroll together. We soon left the city and found ourselves walking in a grassy meadow. The Rebbe spoke. If only you could be worthy to hear the song of this grass. Each blade sings out to God without any ulterior motive, not expecting any reward. It is most wonderful to hear their song and serve Hashem in their midst. It is very good to be religious among them. We walked a bit farther and came to a mogila, a small mountain near the city. I asked why we were going there, and the Rebbe told me the secret of the Magulia. He asked me to come with him. The mountain was hollowed out like a cave, and when we entered it, we could not be seen from the outside. As soon as we entered the hollow, the Rebbe took a copy of Sharei Tzion out of his pocket and began to read. He read it page by page, weeping bitterly all the while. I was standing there holding the Rebbe's coat and was amazed to the extent of his weeping. He stayed there for a very long time. When the Rebbe finished, he asked me to go out and check the time. When I looked, the day was almost over and the sun was beginning to set. The Rebbe had been weeping in prayer for an entire long summer day without stopping. The Rebbe asked me for a light and smoked his pipe for a while. He sat there for some time and then went outside.
He smoked?
I guess so.
I'm done.
The Rebbe said, "A time will come when it will be very difficult to approach me, but now I am in your hands. If you and Rabbi YY, who is Rabbi Yaakov Yosef, of Zlatopolia, desired it, I could make you into tzaddikim just like myself." Welcome. Hi, guys. Do I have two? Yeah, two chairs are here. Okay. So just to recap this piece, right? Okay. Just to recap the piece. So the Rebbe got up, right, and he prayed very early. So Rebbe Nachman talks about praying very early, and he says how you never know what the day is going to bring you, and it's always good to start off your day and right away pray. So just highlighting a few pieces.
I was awake at 5 o'clock this morning. I was like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get daven, and then I rolled over.
Right.
But the thought.
Right.
In the beginning, I thought
That is a beginning. The obstacles, the manias, makes you want it more. So, so basically, right, so then the Rebbe got up very early, and he would walk through the mountains, and it's obvious that he's talking about Hisbodedus in this talking to whatever, and he would walk through the mountains and talk to Hashem. So because I read it, Rebbe Nachman was saying from Rebbe Nachman, we learned that obviously Rebbe Nachman was very into davening with the minyan. So when he's talking about roaming the fields, that's Hisbodedus. It's not actual Shacharis, Mincha, and Mariv, Okay, so then he said, so then they went into this grassy meadow and into this mountain, and I just thought this was an interesting line also, that he says, I asked why we were going there to this mountain, the small mountain, and the Rebbe told me the secret of the Magolia. He asked me to come with him. So, there was this, I don't know if you guys remember, but in Likutei Moharan, Torah 17, Rebbe Nachman talks about how, tzaddikim, they see each part of nature, and, they try to understand Hashem through it. And, every part of nature, we're going to go into nature a lot in this piece, but every part of nature tells the tzaddikim about Hashem and about his essence and why Hashem did it this way. And actually Goldie Rubin was talking to me. She's not here right now, but she was saying about shamans. I don't know if I know literally nothing about it.
I'm just nodding as if I do, but I don't.
All right, I
I
let
came across it recently.
what?
Shaman.
Yeah,
A
like
what?
a shaman or a
He's
shaman.
like, they like connect to the spirit.
Right, or they connect to like
It's not religious.
no. No, but like basically like they try to I know literally nothing about this, but Goldie was telling me that they like there's like something that they pull out from like plants and this and that and animals and like the tzaddikim do too, like everything there's nothing that we don't have. That's what I'm just like in Yiddishkeit, and it's all, and it's not avodah zarah, so that's good, but okay, so what else did I want to put out? Okay. And then so this last part about what Rebbe Nachman says, a time will come when it will be very difficult to approach me, but now I am in your hands, and if you and Rabbi YY desired it, I could make you into tzaddikim just like myself. So it's just like reading that, and I'm like, oh, I'm wondering if that's time is now, like very different, like he's not around anymore, but like we're still trying to make ourselves into tzaddikim like him, Okay. So, so we're going to go in. So this piece is related to a few other pieces that we're going to go into. So first we're going to do sichah 144. So after the Rebbe returned from Lemberg, he was still very sick with tuberculosis. He would often ride to the outskirts of the city and take walks in the fields. This was for his health and for other awesome reasons that he alone knew. During these strolls, we heard many wonderful lessons and tales from the Rebbe. It was on such occasion that we heard the lesson on the verse, Isaac went to meditate in the field, which appears in Likutei Moharan, Tanina 11. We had taken the coach out of the city and stopped to walk in a field. We had descended from the coach and were standing around the Rebbe, who was sitting there. It was time for the afternoon mincha prayer, and we were about to begin the service in the field. The Rebbe then revealed the above lesson, saying that when one prays in the field, every blade of grass enters into his prayer. He later remarked that just as we stood around him and he sees us, he himself sees all the vegetation, each plant pushing itself toward each person who was there in order to rise and become part of his prayer. So, I love this, like, I love this imagery, like of so Rebbe Nachman's right. He's about to daven mincha with a minyan, and all the Hasidim are going to daven mincha. And Rebbe Nachman's saying, like, if you look around you, like, just take a minute and like see how every blade of grass is like coming to help you with your tefillos. And I think like, like it just hey Esty, grab a chair from over there. Okay. So, I like love this whole thing of this whole dichotomy, like of how we're here to uplift the world and the grass and everything, like it attaches to our tefillos and helps us, and like in the, like we're gonna see like the first half, like we're learning like how like the grass comes to help us with our tefillos. Like that was kind of more the first piece that I read, and then this piece is like, but we're also like we're uplifting the grass by our tefillot, like my husband, like whenever we go away to like random places, like we're staying in like a random Airbnb in like some random country, my husband's like, we could be the first people that are saying the bracha here, like we're like uplifting, like it's like that's what there's like tikkunim that the world needs that we come to bring. So I also heard, actually also from my husband in his Rav Kook shiur on Thursdays, like he was talking about how like first there's Ein Sof, like Hashem, Ein Sof, right? And then after Hashem made Tzimtzum, like he made restriction. And then it went in, and then like, so this light came down even in the Tzimtzum, and then it was Shvirat HaKelim, like the breaking of these vessels, because it still was like too much light. And then our job, like as Jews, as people, like we're supposed to like bring the world back to like Tikkun Olam, to Shvirat HaKelim, like pick up these pieces of Shvirat HaKelim and make them whole the way that they're meant to be. It's like it's like crazy, because it's like the dysfunction is like we need it in order to do our tafkid, you know, all the dysfunction and all the craziness in the world. So, okay. Any comments, questions, letters to that, or yeah? Okay.
Should I put them in letter? Huh? You said letter. Put them in letter.
Okay. So then we'll move on. Okay, so now so basically I wanted to bring this piece that the Sikos Haran piece that we just read reference, this Likutei Moharan piece. So we're doing Likutei Moharan Tanina 11. Okay, it's a short piece. Here we go. Okay, no, when a person prays in the fields, all the flora enters into the prayer, helping him and strengthening his prayer. This is the reason prayer is called sichah, conversation. The concept of siach, shrub in the field. All the shrubs of the field empower and assist his prayer. So again, like at first, like from the original sichah we read, it was like kind of talking about how like we kind of help the grass, and now this is saying like actually the grass is helping us, you know, and strengthens our prayer. And it's also, again, this is like this is also how it goes. Like, does Hashem really need our tefillos? Like, no. But do we need to die? But does he? Yes. Like, it's, you know, right. It's like this weird relationship that I don't, you know, that like we're just one of these things that we'll just never understand. So, okay. So when a person prays in the field, all the flora enters into the prayer, helping him and strengthening his prayer. This is the reason prayer is called sichah, conversation. The concept of siach, shrub in the field, from Genesis, and I'll just read the siach hasadeh. All the shrubs of the field empower and assist his prayer. So sichah and siach are like the same letters. So conversation and the shrub, like they all work together. This is the concept of, and Yitzhak went out lasuach, to converse in the fields. So vayetzi Yitzhak lasuach b'sadeh.
It's interesting because the burning bush, like Moshe spoke to Hashem.
Yeah.
In the bush.
Oh, right. The shrub there too.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
It's saying there's a connection, but it's not explaining what the connection is.
He's saying, I mean, I mean, he's gonna.
The life of the trees has a special connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So they have a little bit of a shiur. That's the way I see it. Right? In what way does that shiur? Like, how does that?
I mean, I think what I think the connection is like this tikkun ha'olam thing. Like everything is one, and everybody has to work together in order to like bring it hold and bring it hold.
Even the Semeach is part of that.
Well, yeah, we make like Hashmita and Truma, like we elevate.
How is it?
We elevate.
What's
Yeah, we elevate
the to sichah. What's
Siach is called the shrub.
Yeah, the siach is the shrub.
Right.
Sichah is the thing. But what's apart from having the same shiur, what's the connection between
the
them?
shrubs connect to the thing that like the shrubs can use David. Like
for a
that.
little life.
It's the same word that saying that they the shrubs also converse with Hashem. Like it's describing what they do.
He's saying that because the words are connected, that's how we know that it's that the grass comes in, that the flora comes into your tefillos and strengthen you.
That's the entire concept of being on the that's the same word, therefore it's a global connection.
Yeah. And he's gonna, like, we're gonna
I don't
learn.
know if it's based on it. It just says this is the reason that it's called siach.
Right. Rabbi Nachman is
Meaning
always.
it's like,
Yeah. Go. Continue.
no, I'm saying it's like a knowledge that Rebbe Nachman knew that he was sharing with us. And
Right.
And he's saying even the name reference, it's not like based on a name.
Right.
He realized that.
Right. Rabbi Nachman is like very into like pulling different words and connecting them and showing how it's connected. Like this is like a lot in Likutei Moharan, and he brings like a proof, and then most of the time it's pretty cryptic, you know, like that's the way he rolls. He's like, that's the way he did roll. Like it's like a mad genius, you know. He like had all these. I mean, I don't want to say that about a tzaddik, but you know what I'm saying. Like he's like
Beyond our comprehension. Like,
right. And he does it almost with, I shouldn't say it, he does it with many or maybe even all, like the pieces in Likutei Moharan. I mean, there's some that are very straightforward, but like, and that sound more like sichos haran, like the original sefer that we work off of. But like in Likutei Moharan, it's tons of this, and it's like trying to understand, like, and he's like trying to show you how this is connected to this, and drawing it, and like even in Likutei Halachos. Did I just say that sefer right? Rebbe Nachman sefer. Okay, sorry. Even in that, like he's also like Rebbe Nachman is always right. This is bechinas this, and this is bechinas this, and this is bechinas this. Like it's all like, and I think like, again, this is my version of it, but I think it's just because like they're just really trying to show how everything is one, and everything like comes back to like Yehudim, and like just unifying everything. That everything is from Hashem, and everything is one, and like we look at this world as, with tons of division, but really it's all together. So I think that's, if I'd have to say like why they've like, I don't want to say things are far-fetched, but like sometimes it seems that way.
That I understand that concept more.
Right. Like sometimes, like this one's like an easy one, you know, but sometimes it's like, what? You know, like even like on one of the other pieces that I'm going to bring in later, like I skipped like the complicated part because I'm like, I don't know, I have no idea what this is saying, you know. Like I'm not going to pretend to. I'm just going to take his word for like I'm just going to take it by word, you know. Okay, so this is the concept of, and Yitzhak went out lasuach, to converse in the field. So his prayer was with the help and power in the field. All the floor of the field empowered and assisted his prayer, on account of which prayer is called sichah. Hey, what's up, Tova? Therefore, the curse. So even Yitzhak, like he knew this, I guess, and he went out to converse, which is the word lasuach, in the fields. And that's why prayer is called sichah. Therefore, the curse includes the statement, and the soil will not yield its produce. V'adama lo sitin esivula. For all the earth's produce must empower and assist the prayer. But when this is impeded or delayed, it thus states, and the soil will not yield its produce. V'adama lo sitin esivula.
What is this in the Haya?
This is in Shema.
Oh, it's so scary.
Yeah. So just like, okay, now before I even go on, right? Like we know from Rashi that everything was kind of in Bereshis, right? Everything, Hashem like made the shrubs and everything, but there was no rain or no one to till the soil. So like nothing grew. Like it was just like kind of like seeded, like shrub, like it didn't come out of the ground yet. It didn't come out of the Adamah. And then once Adam came into the world and he realized like, okay, this needs to like grow. We need stuff. So then he prayed for it, and then he prayed for rain, and then everything grew. And like there's like a lot of people ask questions on it, like why, like Hashem, like I mean whatever. The point is that it shows that Hashem wants our tefillos. That's the premise of this. This is how we know Hashem wants our tefillos. Like right away, we start off in Bereshit, where like Hashem waited for Adam to daven before he actually made anything grow. Everything was ready. It was all potential, you know, and it was all right there. But until he prayed for it, once he prayed for it became actual. And so, yeah. It's like, so does Hashem need our tefillos? It just like always goes, right? Exactly.
It's so like I don't know, like exciting. It's like all this like shefa and goodness is just like ready for us to grab. We just need to ask for it.
Right.
You know, so Hashem wants to give it to us.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah. We're gonna read more, but I don't know if I even brought in the piece, but it said exactly what you were saying, and I might have, so we'll check. But it says, like, until you say the words out loud, like like that's where the shefa sits in saying the words out loud, and that's really what we're gonna like start bringing this piece into more. Like, because I remember some people the last time we met together about Hisbodedus, they're like, "Do you have to say this out loud? Like, you really have to talk out loud, you know?" And like, yeah, you really have to talk out loud, and we're gonna learn about that.
Wow.
So,
Exactly what I heard last night.
what?
There was a hostage home on Hashem.
Yeah.
So he spoke
Unbelievable.
last night. And
So what was it? Meaningful minute or one of those?
I felt
and he was saying how he
I'm
saw
For the
Hashem.
few minutes I was awake, it's really unbelievable.
He said he saw Hashem
Yeah.
in the tunnel,
Wow.
and he saw that every time he spoke to Hashem and he said, Hashem, please do this, all of a sudden, like he said, it wasn't like a day later. He said literally like minutes later, the terrorist would walk in and be like removing, and he had just said, Hashem, please just take me out of this place now.
Wow.
Don't even bring me home. Like everything was just his, he said his connection. He said every time he spoke, he saw it right away.
Wow.
He said the words?
Yeah.
Wow.
He said he spoke out loud. He
When you're a
started his
hostage
day
to
every
Gaza for
morning
over
where,
a year,
Hi
you know,
Hashem,
your
how
tefillos
are
for
you?
I saw that. That I saw. It's amazing.
Smile.
I know, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
this is He
Amazing.
started every day with the conversation of,
Right.
Hi Hashem, how are you?
So everybody always asks Hashem what
interesting
they want.
that his
They never
name is
asked Hashem what he
Omer.
was doing. He said every day he was
Omer Shem Tov,
And then
right?
he would sing.
That's crazy,
When
right?
Talking, it was like wow.
No, he's amazing.
He's really like,
But anyway,
Oh,
it goes back to the
yeah.
word.
His name.
right. It's yeah. Just when you said it right now, I'm like, oh my gosh, like his name is Omer, you know?
Only you would think of that. Right.
I don't usually think of those things,
Yeah,
but
anyway,
yeah.
it was very, very inspiring.
Yeah, it's usually Abigail's role, not mine, but
But that was really good, yeah.
yeah,
It was amazing.
yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay, so, okay, now even when a person does not pray in the fields, and this also like relates to like, okay, like, you know, you want to do Hisbodedus, but you can't get out to the forest today. We're so lucky that we have forests so close to us, but that's besides the point, you know? But, right, so now even when a person does not pray in the fields, the earth's produce, whatever is near the person, such as his food and drink and the like, aids his prayer. But when he's in the fields, because he's particularly close to these things, all the flora and all the soil's produce empower his prayer. And, oh, Esty, you just planted.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
I'm just thinking.
I was literally just thinking, like...
Oh wow. Okay, fine. And this is Yevul, the first letters of Vayetze Yitzchak Lasuach Besada. So Yevul is produce, right? And the first letters of it are about how Yitzchak went out to daven in the fields. All the produce of the fields prayed together with him.
Sometimes when I do Hisbodedus, I even thank Hashem for my flowers on my porch.
I'm sure. How could you not?
And exactly. I have a bracha. Thank you. So, happens to be when I was doing Hisbodedus regularly before I moved. I used to ask Hashem either a massive porch or a garden, and I got both.
Mm,
So then you can't not thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for, you know.
right. It's crazy. Flowers are just, they just make people happy, you know? Okay. So, this is just so apropos now because we're coming into summer. So I wanted to bring in this part too. Sichah Torah 98. Hey Goldie, welcome. Chair over there. Sorry. Yeah, grab. Okay. Winter is pregnancy and summer is birth. So we're heading into summer now. So, okay. The Rebbe then spoke wondrous words, but they were mostly forgotten. He spoke of the summer, which was then approaching. This took place in Nisan, shortly before Pesach, on the third day after the Brit Milah of the Rebbe's son, Shlomo Ephraim, of blessed memory. The Rebbe then said that in the winter, all plants and grasses die. Their strength dissipates, and they are like the dead. But when summer comes, they awaken and return to life. It is written, Isaac went out to meditate in the field. The Talmud says that this meditation was prayer. Meditation and prayer is sichah. A bush of the field is a siach. When every bush, siach, of the field begins to return to life and grow, it yearns to be included in prayer and meditation. When summer approaches, it is particularly good to meditate in the fields. This is a time when you can pray to God with longing and yearning. The Rebbe spoke at length about this. He also discussed several other matters. Okay, so just again, now, as everything, for people who love nature, this is which is I think everybody, right? Everything, but again, this concept of everything growing and we need, the grass will help us, the flowers will help us make our davening have more power, and it's pretty amazing. Okay, so I also read in one of the footnotes of Likutei Moharan from Chaim Kramer that that it used to be in the olden days, in old Europe, they used to put shuls right by a field, all the it'd be out of the city a little bit, and they were they think Reb Chaim Kramer was alluding to that it's probably for this reason, to actually get power from nature and everything. I thought that was cool. Yeah. So okay, so again, so we're talking about talking and talking in fields and conversations in fields, and I wanted to bring in a few more things about that. So actually need a source sheet. Are there any more? No, right? No, because I have to skip around in this and I didn't bookmark it. It's okay, you guys could, it's fine, I could do it like this. Okay. Every person must, so Likutei Moharan, Torah 5. Every person must say, the whole world was created for me. If the world was created for me, it is therefore my constant obligation to examine and consider what is needed to repair the world and provide everyone's needs and to pray for them. I love that, right? B'shvili nivra olam. How many times have we heard that? And how many times do people use that in obnoxious ways? But if you if you really understood what it means, with great power comes great responsibility, as they say, right? And it's it's our constant obligation to examine and consider what's needed, and again, this whole concept of repairing the world, bringing tikkun ha'olam, bringing making brachas in random places and bringing grass and everything as part of our tefillos.
It's the way we have it in our head is a misconstrued way of looking at the concept of B'shvili nivra olam.
Right. Yeah, it could be. This Likutei Moharan piece, it actually it goes on to talk about how when a tzaddik, I didn't bring it in because it doesn't have to do with this, but just a side point, how when a tzaddik davens, when it, first a tzaddik gives Torah straight out, and then when there's dinim, then he switches it to stories. He switches, he goes into stories, and because he doesn't wanna bring prosecuting angels against what he's saying. So he has to because it's a time of dinim,
He's hinting at it.
So he hints at it. And then I was also reading when I was preparing, I don't remember where or why or when, but I skimmed a piece that also said how I think it was about I know what it was about. Rebbe Nachman was saying about turning Torah into tefillah, which we spoke about a little bit last time we met, right? So, and how that's the highest thing. And he said that Rebbe Nachman, never, he said, Rebbe Nachman didn't say this straight out, just he hasn't said straight out so many other important things, because he's always scared that, the evil malachim will come and, prosecute against him. He didn't want to make it whole. He hinted to a lot of things, I thought that was interesting, too. Power of speech, right? It has to do with this because that's what we're gonna keep on hinting at. Okay, so Likutei Moharan, Torah 31. Okay, so this is the Cliff Notes because as I was saying, it was too hard to bring in this whole piece. Couldn't get all the links. Okay, so from Rav Avram Greenbaum. So when you speak to Hashem, make it a habit to express your longing and yearning to extricate yourself from evil and attain true good. putting your longing into words is the way to draw your spiritual power from the realm of potential and possible to the realm of real and actual. So there's so many things to say just on these two lines. Like first, like when you're actually looking to long and yearn, like you have to separate yourself from evil. And we know, like, to even like talking about other Jews and lashon hara and all this stuff, like it's like you have to separate yourself from that. And Rebbe Nachman says in one place that when you're dishonest, you become fat. Like that's the fat. That's like a thing. And
But that could also be like dishonest with yourself as well.
For sure.
That's what you mean.
Right.
Probably means both, like lying to others and lying to yourself, you know?
I think that we're so focused
that's why it's called
on being
fat
honest
lying.
to other
Oh yeah, there you go.
You're a fat liar.
Right.
Everything comes from Yiddishkeit.
And he Rebbe Nachman also says in another piece how like this is again about lashon hara, but like how every Jew is like a letter of the Torah, and if you really want to come to love Torah, then you have to like love your fellow Jews and not talk about them. That's like there's a lot of different pieces on this topic. So right, so like if you wanna like come close to Hashem, like you have to extricate yourself from evil and like try to attain true good. So putting your longing into words, right, is the way to draw your spiritual power from the realm of potential and possible to the realm of the real and actual. So this is like kind of what we were saying before about like how, you know, we learned it straight away in Bereshit, like probably the first parak, you know, like with Adam, like all the potential was there. Everything was ready to grow, everything was ready to rock and roll, but like Hashem waited for his tefillah, and then he had to pray for it, and then the rain came, and then everything grew. So it went from potential to actual. Longing and yearning alone create potential spiritual power, but the words of your prayers and conversations with God bring this spiritual power into the realm of the actual, so that it becomes realized in actual fact. So actually talking, using your mouth and talking, that's what's gonna bring things to real. This is the way to accomplish what you yearn for. Letters of Torah are present throughout the creation. By expressing and articulating your yearning and desire in words, you invest these letters with new vitality and power for good. So I love this also, right? So like the letters of the Torah, you use them when you talk, right? Obviously, but really like they're present like throughout the creation. And when you express them, it's like it's like a seed, right? And or like dandelion leaves, you know, like, and those dandelion seeds, and like if you imagine like your letters like that, and then you end up like you use your words for good, for prayer, for trying to attach to Hashem, then it like spreads all over the world. That's what he's saying here. Like it just goes all over. It's like the wind takes it, and you know, and it goes all over the world, and it brings good and like tikkun ha'olam to everything. Maybe, and sometimes, and most of the time, it also comes back to ourselves, right? And it like comes straight into our hearts or somebody else's heart. This brings you new life and strength and draws goodness and blessing into all the worlds. Numberless souls are stirred to make their own return to God, all through your words of prayer to your Maker, like in your own Dalit Amos, like the good that you could do just from praying out loud. And again, this is like also what we read before, like if the whole world was created for you, like pray for everybody, you know, like don't pray for yourself, pray for everyone around you. How precious are the longing and yearning that you express before God. The main thing is actually to articulate the words. Make this your regular practice and devote time to it every day. This will benefit the entire world.
Even talking to people about, like I'm just saying, the other day I was at the park and I saw someone and I said, you know, I love all Yidden, but I said, there's nothing like living in Eretz Yisrael. I was just in America and people are amazing.
Right.
You get to know everyone, they're amazing. I said, there's something special about living here, the Kedusha here, kids growing up here. the lifestyle.
Right.
She came over to me and she said, I just want to tell you that my husband's been driving me crazy that we should move to Texas. And he just got a job opportunity. And after talking to you now, she's like, I really don't want to leave Eretz Yisrael. I was like, yes. So even like just talking about Eretz, just speaking out loud.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure in this long piece that I didn't end up bringing in, it's just funny that you're saying it, I'm like almost 90% sure that it talks about talking to your friends also.
Oh.
Yeah. And how like one person like absorbs, like it's so, and this is also like totally Rebbe Nachman, like sichos chavirim, how like, and like talking about spiritual things and emunah and all good things, like how like it's like throwing a ball back and forth, and like you throw me a ball and then I'm like I take it in and then I throw you the ball, and it's and like we, and even just saying the words, even when you like, it convinces you more also about how much you love Eretz Yisrael, you know. Like I read in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, like he says it, like after you finish a chapter, teach it to somebody. Like that's what makes it real, you know, because talking about it. Okay, so Likutei Moharan 34. Okay, Rav Avram Greenbaum. I mean, again, this is Cliff Notes, okay? Prayer must be spoken out in actual words, literally. It is not enough to think the prayers. It is true that God knows what we are thinking, but the words have to be spoken, because speech is the vessel which one will... Oh, I did put it in. I wasn't sure if I did put it in the end. Okay, because speech is the vessel with which we receive the flow of blessings. Like, that's where the shefa comes in. According to our words, so is the blessing we receive. One who perfects his speech can receive abundant blessings through the vessel he forms with his words. This is why we must actually articulate our prayers with our mouths. So again, it's just like to give us chizuk, like everything is with actually saying the words. It makes all the difference, you know. There's one thing that let's see if I could find it, but it's also, this is Cliff Notes, so it's not the full piece. Okay. Speech has tremendous power. If you know how, you can even whisper to a gun so that it cannot shoot. Wow. That's in Likutei Moharan, Tanina 96, you know? But just,
He says whisper, not yell.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, he says whisper. I didn't even realize that, but yeah. Like, I just, you know, like, I think, like, we have to really, I give us all a bracha, turning the Torah into tefillah, you know? Like, we have to believe in the power of our tefillos and the power of our words.
That's literally what I spoke about in every single one of my speeches in America. The premise of my speech, that we to find confidence in our tefillos. Because when we have confidence in our tefillos, then our tefillos have extra power.
For sure.
It's a crazy visual over here when he said that your words create vessels. Like, if you imagine that Hashem is like showering you with shefa and you want to receive it, and like, you know what I mean? It just like runs through. But if you imagine these like vessels that are catching it,
right.
So then you could like.
I'm trying to remember its Torah. I one time heard about this, but I can't. It was like siur is a pipe, right?
Sidor.
I can't remember though, and it had to do with Baruch. Maybe it's the same gematria or something. It's a pipe. I don't remember.
The story of the oil, who was it?
Yeah, with the Eliyahu Hanavi
and the oil, like she had
to.
She had to go and get the vessel
right
before, and like why?
Right.
Why'd she have to Hashem could just, same way he could give her the oil, she had to run around collecting the vessels first.
Right. Right. That's so. That's such a. Yeah, it's true.
You can't just expect the oil to pour on you. You need to like.
Right. You need to catch it.
Of my words creating vessels. Like, it's such a different. Like you just want to speak a lot.
Right. They say like when you learn Rav Kook, like there's like so much, like it's Orot, that's what his sefer is called, and really like if like the underlining, or probably not underlining, very obvious thing that he mentioned, it's all about Orot and Kalim. Like the light is always coming, the light's here. That's like what Rav Kook is trying to show, and I think Rebbe Nachman as well. Like the light is here, you just need like the Kalim to take it in. Like the bracha's there, the shefa's there, everything is here. But we need the kalim, we need the eyes to see it. We need, So again, we should all be able to have these kalim and see the
things that we don't realize, like
our brachos even.
Sometimes I think it's more of like a question that we have a child of why do we have to daven with these words? And I remember just hearing it for myself. It seems so not personal. We all have the same feel, the same. When you think about it, it's a lot of times I find myself speechless, and it's like the Ashik Netzadakdol, they say, okay, here we're giving you the containers so that you can, even when you don't have your own container, so that you can catch the bracha that Hashem is giving you.
Wow.
I remember Shushan has a whole thing it's very, very, very old. He says, we think we know what we need to daven for. This is like what's happening in children. We think we know what we need to daven for. But we sometimes lose focus on what we really need to daven for. So Shmona Esrei, if we really look at the words, it really covers.
It really does.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.